Order in the court. Building the case here with Judge Donnie Rightside here for Sportsbookreview.com. Got an interesting case that we're going to go over tonight. The People versus the Baltimore Ravens. Case number 275-276. This will be a bench trial today, folks. What does that mean? I am the jury, I am the judge, I am the executioner making a ruling on these games. Have some interesting facts that have presented to us by the prosecution here for both sides of the argument. I will make a determination here who I think is going to win the judgment here, sort of the people's court, building the case here once again with Judge Donnie Rightside. I have the signed and sealed court affidavits here that we're going to read from to see if we can derive and come up with something here for the defendants. No hearsay will be allowed in my courtroom today, folks, as you know. If we take a look, the prosecution has given us information on the Baltimore Ravens in this Monday Night Football game. The Ravens are 5-5 overall. The Ravens are 5-1 against the spread. 2-2 against the spread at home for the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens are 7-2 versus the Houston Texans of all time. You know what? I'm going to make a ruling. Strike that from the court record over there, folks. Strike that. I do not, if we go to a jury, I do not want them to hear this evidence. Irrelevant information. I object to this information. Whether or not Baltimore won a game versus the Houston Texans in 2002 will not be allowed in my courtroom tonight. Total I was going over in the last 5 of 6 football games for the Ravens. Baltimore is 6-3 against the spread last 9 games. Baltimore is 8-14-1 in their last 23 home games. You know what? Strike that also from the record. Irrelevant information here. Games played 23 games ago. No relevance to tonight's tilt in Baltimore. I do not want to hear the jury or the prospective jurors to hear that. Baltimore 7-2 in their last 9 home games. If you look at Houston tonight, 4-6 overall, 6-4 against the spread on the season, 3-1 against the spread on the road. Houston 2-7 versus Baltimore all time. I already said it. Do not make me bring the prosecution, lawyers, anybody back to my judge's chambers. I do not want to go over this fact again. It's already been stricken from the record here. Houston 6-3 against the spread last 9. Houston 2-4 straight up last 6. Houston 1-5 straight up last 6 games on the road. I will allow that information. It's very good, most of it coming from witnesses and also the prosecution here. But in my courtroom, what I say goes here. If we take a look at the stone cold facts of this case, Houston, since Deshaun has gone down at quarterback, 20-14 loser to Indianapolis. Los Angeles Rams, 33-7 loser, did pull out a victory last week, 31-21 versus the Arizona Cardinals. If we take a look at the home team, the Baltimore Ravens. Judge Rightside, I know. Baltimore doesn't always play that well at home. We have to take a look at what they've been doing recently. Last time we saw them at home, folks, 40-0 victory over the Miami Dolphins. Close loser to Tennessee on the road, 23-20. Snapped back at Green Bay, 23-0 shutout win at Lambeau Field. So the last 2 of 3 games, folks, Baltimore has pitched a shutout. Baltimore is getting healthier here. Star left tackle Ronnie Stanley will be back for this football game, who apparently wasn't missed at all in that game versus the Green Bay Packers. If we look from a Houston perspective here, folks, no hearsay here. Foreman's out for this football game. Bad injury last week. Nice number 2 running back. He's out. Also, if we want to take a look at Will Fuller, star wide receiver, helping out DeAndre Hopkins in this football game, won't be here. If we're taking a look overall at this football game, is it hard to lay 7.5 with the Baltimore Ravens? Some might think. Some on the jury might think that as well. But if we're building the case for the overall better football team heading towards the playoffs with a shot at the playoffs, would be the Baltimore Ravens in this one. Case 275-276. I will allow this into evidence. 65% of the betting public currently lining up right now on the Baltimore Ravens. That is pertinent and relevant information to this case. Not hearsay. Not hearsay at all. So if we're taking a look overall at football teams, one thing I believe is healthier. The team, Baltimore Ravens, should get the nod in this one with the 7.5. But if you're looking from a Houston perspective, what is Savage going to bring to the table? He's going to have to move the football against a staunch Ravens team. Special teams, to me, much better for the Baltimore Ravens also. I think we're ready to make a judgment here, call in building the case in this Sportsbookreview.com courtroom. Bailiff, bring everybody up here. I'm going to make my ruling. As I per se over here, very good from the Houston Texans. Very good representation from the Baltimore Ravens. But my judgment goes tonight. The play is the Baltimore Ravens minus 7.5. Bailiff, I have spoken. Take the Houston Texans away. Sportsbookreview.com for everything in the NFL.